Good morning and welcome to day 40 on the Appalachian Trail. It's hard to believe I've been out here for 40 days. Last night, the thunderstorms pretty much ended around 8 o'clock and then it just drizzled throughout the night. So I probably would have been fine to keep on going, but I was kind of glad to be warm and dry in the afternoon and while it was storming outside. Today, I'm heading either 13 miles to the shelter, or if the weather's looking good, I'll do 15 to the old site of Overmountain shelter. If you don't know, Overmountain shelter was a barn. It was amazing. It was a really awesome shelter, but they tore it down, I believe in 2019 because of structural issues. However, there's still a giant field there and room for plenty of tents, and I really like the sunrise from that spot. But obviously if it's storming, then probably setting up in a field on top of a mountain is not the best place to be for that. So we'll see kind of what it's looking like this afternoon. Otherwise, right now it's beautiful out here. It's kind of been raining on and off, hence the rain jacket this morning. But we've got a climb up Roan Mountain to start off our morning, and then that'll put us over at Carver's Gap, and we will start the Balds and the iconic Roan Highlands. What a view. Rolling green pastures. Before coming out here on this through hike, one of my friends who recently had a baby gave me some advice, and it's something I'm kind of taking to heart today. She was like, you know, when you're pregnant, your feet swell, you have weird cravings, and something new is probably going to hurt every single day, but as long as it's not the same thing hurting for a while, probably don't need to go to the doctor for it. And, I was thinking about that today. Random things, you wake up and you got like a little nip or niggle somewhere. Today it's my left hip, but as long as it's not hurting tomorrow, not worried about it. And it's more so just like a little pinch. I think I slept weird on it last night, so no need to worry. But it's funny because in a way what she said is very true. My feet will swell. I have random cravings for stuff out here. And, as long as one thing doesn't bother me for an extended amount of time, probably don't need to go to the doctor for it. Pretty sure that's Roan Mountain up in that direction. And that is the rain coming for us. Starting to feel some sprinkles. So I'm going to stop up here, put my phone in a bag, and get my pack cover on. I'm trying to decide if I want to switch to a poncho for my rain gear. So I bought one of these cheap dollar ones in Hot Springs. This is my first time using it. I will say with the wind, I feel like I'm kind of blowing away. But we'll see how it does today. It's too hot to wear rain gear. Like, I'll just sweat underneath it and it basically won't do any good because I'll be wet from sweat anyway. So time to test out this poncho in some windy, rainy weather. Roan High Knob, 5.2 miles of climbing. Carver's Gap, 6.6. Stan Murray, that's where we're heading, 10.3. Figured out how to tie it up with my hair tie so that one, it's reusable, and two, it's not flapping away in the wind. So that's nice. But I think the first wave of rain has passed, so I'm probably gonna take it off here in a second. About a mile up this climb, and I just met the sweetest blue heeler. Oh my goodness, they're working on training, so got to go through a few tricks and feed him some treats. So sweet. Oh, best dog encounter of the day. You'll want to hear the sad story of a hiker. So usually halfway between a leg, which I consider town to town, or wherever I'm doing laundry next, I switch my socks. And this morning would have been the morning that I would have switched my socks normally, but I forgot to switch them. So I'm wearing musty, crusty, slightly damp socks today for absolutely no reason. First world problems, but that's what I'm thinking about on this climb. How nice fresh socks would have felt today. X marks the spot, right? Does that mean I should dig for buried treasure there? I've been listening to the Head and the Heart's album, Signs of Light, every day, at least once a day, probably for about the last 2 weeks. It's got a good beat to it, it's positive, keeps me propelled down the trail. If you like indie rock, that's kind of how I would classify it. Maybe they classify themselves as alternative, but would definitely recommend giving that album a listen. They sure do know how to spruce a place up. Hopefully these are spruce trees, otherwise that joke lands horribly. We're coming into Ash Gap. I have camped over there before. I'm kind of glad I didn't camp up here last night because it is chilly between the wind and the higher elevation, making the temperature lower. Ooh, I would have had a hard time getting up this morning. It's beautiful though. Feeling a little bit like I'm back in the Smokies. About a mile from the top now. If I can find somewhere without wind, I'm gonna stop and have lunch. Got a beef and cheese stick, some mustard, and Pringles. Found a spot kind of tucked away from the wind, in the sun at least, so it's warm. Y'all already know what I'm having for dessert. I just had to stop and put my jacket on. I thought I would warm back up as I started climbing, but no, this wind, ooh, it is chilly. I learned the other day that apparently I vlog like a millennial, which, proud to do so, I am one. But the Gen Zers were telling me that the 0.5 is the way to go these days. I don't think I'll be vlogging like this. Too much brain power and it hurts my arm. But just so you know, I got called old. I love when roots grow on the rocks like this. Probably makes them very delicate, but it looks pretty. You know, Roan Mountain didn't look too different from how I remembered it, but now that I'm up here basically at the top, it is crazy. Again, no words. I know you guys are just seeing it on the screen, but walking through it is something else. I don't remember seeing all this plastic stuff before, but basically they put this down kind of like you would in your garden to keep weeds from growing. But it helps protect the trail and prevent erosion. Coming up here to the site of the old Cloudland Hotel. It was in the 1800s when it was thriving. I'm actually not sure what happened to it. Maybe one of you in the comments knows. I'd like to stay there right now though, if it was still open. There we go. Let's walk over there and check it out. Been over here before, but nice. Not much to see. All right, let's go back to the AT. See it a little better here. Old chimney. Wonder if that's for the hotel or someone's house. I know they used to have kitchens separate, so. Behind me is the Point One Blue Blaze that goes to the highest shelter on the AT. It's currently closed, and I've been up there before, so I don't feel the need to go up there today, but it's closed for structural reasons. They have plans to lift it up and rebuild something. I don't know too much about it. Someone was telling me about it yesterday, but basically they're hoping to have it reopened next year or the next. Time to go down to Carver's Gap, where a pit toilet awaits. What a weird noise. I don't think there's a train around here. Made it up to Carver's Gap. There's the Welcome to North Carolina sign. Proof we've been on the border. In the land of no privies. What a sight to behold. They even had toilet paper in there. That was fancy. Well, first we're heading up Round Bald, and then we'll go up Jane Bald. Right now the weather's looking all right, so hopefully it stays that way for the next couple hours so I can get some nice views up there. I've got pictures on this rock pretty much every time I've done this section. Got them with two of my dogs who I did this section with. Here's our view into Tennessee. There's Roan Mountain, the town I'll be at tomorrow. And Jane Bald is that way, so we're heading next. There's a field trip behind me, so I won't be filming that direction. Oh, I love the Roan Highlands. As long as that rain stays over there, it's beautiful. Just don't want it over here with me. Well, that was super cool. One of the teachers on the field trip actually through hiked the Appalachian Trail a few years ago. So when the students saw me, they were like, "Are you through hiking?" Just so excited to tell me about their teacher. And then there was another couple right after who had a little puppy named Mr. Waffles. So I got to chat with them about the trail for a little bit. It's just fun to meet people who are excited about the trail and what you're doing and all that. Especially in such a beautiful place. You know, last time I was here, I was fortunate enough to catch the tail end of the rhododendrons blooming. But I just love this area so much. I think it reminds me of how small I am in this world. Just the ability to look out and see for miles and miles and miles, walking over these exposed peaks. I said it in my last video from here. Oh, here's Jane Bald, 5,807. But I don't know, my heart just yearns for places like these, and I love feeling connected to the world in this way. The rain has returned. and I've switched back into the poncho. My assessment so far after using it a couple times today is that I do really like the poncho. I mean, not this one in particular, because I'm just worried it's gonna rip because it's like $1 poncho. But I do think I'm gonna consider switching to a poncho once the weather is consistently warm. You know, today I needed my rain jacket going over Roan Mountain just because it was cold and windy. So I want to wait until at least after Damascus. But I don't know, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you hike with a poncho or, you know, use them pretty consistently backpacking. If you have any thoughts about how it was switching over to a poncho, if you like it better, if you prefer having a rain jacket, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments because it's definitely something that I'm going to be considering. Stopped here at Stan Murray Shelter to make dinner, just in case it's raining when I get over to the old Overmountain shelter site. Wanted to go ahead and have eaten. That was actually really nice to go ahead and stop for dinner 2 miles before camp. So now I know when I get there, all I have to do is set up my tent and do my camp chores, and then I'll be ready for relaxing and stretching and just hanging out until the sun goes down, and then I'll go to bed. You know, I'll probably eat more snacks because the hiker hunger is definitely amping up, especially as I start doing longer days. But I'm heading to the old Overmountain shelter site, and I don't know, this is my first time that I'll have been there after they tore the barn down. They decommissioned it, or I don't think that's the word, but basically they were like, you can't stay there anymore in 2019, and then they actually tore it down, I think 2 years ago. That might be wrong, but it's been pretty recent since the last time that I backpacked through the Roan Highlands. Kind of hard to read, but Yellow Mountain Gap. I finished today at 15.6 Appalachian Trail miles here at the old Overmountain shelter site. Hopefully we'll get a good sunrise in the morning, but I got here and got set up just as it started raining again. Tomorrow I have, I think, about 9 miles or so to get down to 19E, which is where I will be picked up and head into Roan Mountain to stay at a B&B where I'm going to hopefully zero the next day. So looking forward to a little bit of rest. I haven't really taken a rest day since Hot Springs, so it feels much needed for the feet and to get everything ready to go into Virginia. So that's pretty exciting. That will be there probably next week. But anyway, I will see you all in the morning for another great day of hiking.